Hey everyone, welcome to Be Authentic or Get the Fuck Out. I'm your host, Eric Oberemt. This is the podcast where the only requirement to be a guest is that you are being authentic to who you are. If you're not, I'll shut it down and I'll ask you to leave. Remember, be authentic or get the fuck out. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Be Authentic or Get the Fuck Out. I'm your host, Eric Oberemt. We want to start every podcast here reminding people that we technically do have sponsors. So today we are sponsored by D&M Roofing and Siding because at the end of the day, my company's paying for all this shit. And we always like to bring up being sponsored by Roofers in Recovery. Don't get any money from Roofers in Recovery, but everybody knows how close that is to my heart, and so I'm always going to bring that up at the beginning of every podcast. So welcome back. Thank you for tuning in again. Today is going to be an interesting and fun interview. I'm super excited. I've brought in a friend of mine, has absolutely nothing to do with our industry, with anything like that. We have been trying to veer a little bit away from doing industry talk and bringing only in people that I know from the industry. And so, you know, we've had our Joshua from the Stem Cell Clinic in Mexico come on. Next week, we're going to be interviewing TW Mock. We've got some really cool stuff lined up. But today, I've brought in my friend Quincy Welchin, and Quincy has a really cool story. He's doing a lot of really cool shit. And selfishly, I wanted to bring this guy in because I wanted to be one of the first people that interviewed him right before he fucking pops and everybody knows his fucking name. So I'm super excited about that. So everybody, I would like to introduce you to Quincy. Quincy, thanks for being here, bro.
Oh man, I appreciate it.
And so before we started, you said, yep, I go by Quincy or go by Swipes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to hear that fucking story because I called Jesse and I'm like, what's the fucking Swipe story? He's like, fuck, I don't know.
All right, when I first, it goes back to like running around with my homeboys and starting to rap. And I ended up calling myself like Deezy. My brother used to be like, Q Deezy. And the homies would say, Q Deezy. Then I would be moving around. I'm kind of fluent with the ladies. So the homies would be like, watch your girl, Q gonna swipe her.
Is that it, really?
Yeah. So then I was doing an album and I'm like, okay, I don't want to use this old Q Deezy no more. I think I'm gonna use Deezy the Swiper or Deezy Swiper. So, and then the homies would call me Swipes for short.
Really?
So
that's where it came from?
That's where it came from.
Because you swipe people's bitches.
Yeah, I've done that in the past. I've done that.
That's fucking hilarious.
I've been swiped also, though. You know what
yes,
I
haven't we all?
Oh my god. I see fellas. I see cats in traffic, and I'll be like, yeah, you got me, but I'm gonna get you back.
That's hilarious because obviously, like as a dad, right? The first thing we all think is like, this motherfucker stole some shit from Dora, right? Like, that's the first thing. Like that was what Natalie thought.
Yeah, it was swiper, no swiping.
Right. And then I heard it in your last video when you threw it in there into your song, and I was like, what's he doing? What's he doing?
Used to call me swiper, no swiping too.
Oh, I love that. That's fucking hilarious. Yeah. So when did you start doing music?
Oh man, this started probably 3-4 years old. I was okay. My mom just said I was always a music buff. My dad used to put the radio on and just lay me on the bed.
Okay.
Go to sleep instantly.
Okay.
But when I did my first studio session at like 12.
Did you?
Yeah.
Now, how did that happen?
It was a studio off Center Street in like 38th.
Okay.
And one of my buddies and I had just went to 7th grade, and he rapped, and he was like, let's go do a song at the studio. I'm like, we can find one.
Right.
You know, we probably had $12 in our pocket, but
right.
You know, my mom gave me $50. We go to the studio, we cut a song. It's called You Can't Fuck With It, and he was probably 30 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
You still got that somewhere?
Absolutely. I wish I had the tape, though. It's back when great tapes was
yes.
out. Yeah.
Yes. But you still got a cut of it somewhere where we can hear it?
Nope. I know the bars. My homie, he probably lost his tape too. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
You got to re-record it then.
Maybe.
Yeah. Because how old are you? Are we the same age?
I'm 43, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be 43 next month. God damn. When do we get old?
I don't know.
Ain't that some shit?
Living?
Yeah. And you grew up, where'd you grow up at?
North Omaha.
Okay. Where at?
I stayed on 38th and Benny and 43rd and Benny, 38th and Maple.
Oh shit. Okay. That's a lot of people. Obviously we're like national and whatever, so nobody gives a fuck about where we lived in Omaha.
Right.
But just it's funny because I grew up until I was like 10 or 11 on 39th and Laurel.
Okay, yeah, you was over by James, a little past Ames Street by Sorensen.
Yes, right by Sorensen. It backed up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it backed up. There was that old fucking liquor store down on the corner, and then they turned in that strip mall into a probation office. And then I ended up having to go to probation there for a while.
Me too.
Yeah.
I've been in that motherfucker too.
I spent a lot of time in that probation office.
Sometimes you be like, damn, am I going to walk out this motherfucker today?
Right, yeah. I did not enjoy my time down there. But and that was a huge culture shock for me because I moved from 39th and Laurel. I lived with my grandparents, right? And my grandpa lived in that house for 30 years. And so he saw all the changes, like he used to have Hell's Angels that lived like cross street from him. Yeah. Like that's what that area was for so long. And then when I moved in 1989, it had gotten pretty fucking scary right in that little neighborhood right there. Like, cause that was like, Laurel and then the street behind it. And it was,
James.
Yeah. And right by, the little middle school that was up the street, Belvedere. Yeah. And it started getting pretty fucking nasty in that neighborhood. And so my grandpa got us to move out of there, but we moved from 39th and Laurel to Elkhorn.
Holy shit.
Right?
Yeah, that's a
little different.
Yeah, that's like
right?
I went and white.
Yeah, well, I went from being the only white kid in my neighborhood to moving out to Elkhorn, going like, what the fuck is going on out here? Like I went out there and had remember the old LA Gear fucking shoes and shit? Like I had my old LA Gears.
You had LA Gears with the lights?
Yes, I did.
I hated those.
I had them. I went out to fucking Elkhorn with my fucking LA Gears on and they're like, where the fuck did you come from? Yeah. I'm like, 39th and Laurel.
Like, you got them shoes my black homeboys wear.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I had them all. Yeah, I was definitely out of place down on 39th and Laurel. But that was I still go back just to drive around. You know what I mean? And see my old house and and they've kind of cleaned it up a little bit in that area. Have you noticed that? Yeah, they've kind of cleaned it up. Because are you still down in North Omaha?
Oh no, I stay south.
You stayed south?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I stay south. I'm over north a lot. My daughter
Are you?
lives north.
Oh, she does? Yeah. Okay, yeah. And so she's here today, and you guys had a basketball game.
Yeah, we coming from Lincoln right now. They lost the first game yesterday, won the second one. Then we won this morning, and I think the other team might have lost, so it bumped us in the first place.
Ah, so nice.
Instead of not playing.
So we got to get through this so you can get back because you got a game. Yeah. But that was something I wanted to talk about because my life changed significantly when I had a daughter. Yeah. Right? Is she your only kid?
Yeah.
Okay. And she's 13, that's just an awful age. I can only imagine.
Yes, that new and you just.
Yeah. But talk to me about how you changed probably as a person once you had a daughter. Like, did that kind of change who you were a little bit? Because it changed who I was.
Yeah, I got soft a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little soft, but.
You got soft, but you probably got a little harder too because you're like.
Yeah, more of a protector.
Yeah.
I turned into more of a protector than just a whatever. I was kind of freelance in life and doing whatever. I was real wild in the streets.
Yep.
And, it's like once I got with her mom, and her mom told me she was pregnant, it was like and they actually kind of, it stopped me from moving out of town. I was supposed to be moving to LA.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I was out of here.
Really?
Yeah, I was on drug court. I got in some trouble. And I was just like, I don't want to be here no more.
Right.
But then in the time of me going through drug court and graduating, getting out, like her mom told me she was pregnant like a week after.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like,
it's a life-changing thing. You know what I mean? Not just to have a kid, but I think it's different when you have a daughter, right? Yeah. I think it changes how you treat people. You know what I mean?
How I treat women too.
100%, because at the end of the day, you have this little girl looking to you, and you don't want them going and finding the old you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's me. I don't want.
Don't date nobody that's like me. Like,
But you do with the you now.
Yeah.
Right? You want her to find the you now.
I want her to find the good me.
Right. Which is the you now.
Yeah.
Right? Or the you now that you're on the path to be.
Well, the you now without my bad attitude sometimes, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
well,
I mean, we
ain't perfect, yeah.
right. Like nothing perfect, but just,
right.
Without all the extra shit.
Right. So the name of the podcast is Be Authentic or Get the Fuck Out, right? And so one of the things that we always like to ask people about, right, is, how do I put this? I want to make this clear, but what does being authentic mean to you, and how do you know that you're doing it?
Shit, I'm doing it right now, actually.
And so let me give you an example. What I talk about a lot on this show and just in life, and when I go do stage, presentations and shit like that, is people tend to defer to seeing somebody out there, whether it's on social media or on TV or in a video or whatever it is, and they decide, I want to be him. I want to be like him, right? And they start to do and be them, right? Maybe dress like them or talk like them or act like them or say shit like them or whatever it is, but they don't really know who they are. And what I talk a lot about is that if you're going to have a business or a company or lead people or whatever it is, and if you're going to have people around you, right, which we all do, whether you're in leadership or you're not, you still are a leader of someone, right? What are they seeing, and why do people follow certain people? And what I believe and what I talk about is that I think that people follow people that they trust because they know that they're being them and they're not trying to be somebody else, right? So like I talk a lot about my past, right? I talk a lot about my history of alcoholism and drug addiction and going to jail and, getting out and going to rehab and, all the stuff that I had to go through to come through to be who I am,
where you are right now,
where I am right now, right? Yeah. And I'm by no means a, finished fucking product.
Right.
Right.
We're all a work in progress,
right,
until we out of here.
But I'm a hell of a lot closer to that person that I want to be, right?
Hell yeah.
And so I like to hear people's journeys of struggle, right? Like I don't want any of this when I'm talking and doing this podcast to be surface bullshit.
Right.
We just did our first 12 minutes and we got past our surface bullshit, right? And so I like to, what we say is that this is a comfortable place to have uncomfortable conversations, right? And so what I like to hear, and what I think my listeners like to hear is they like to hear about people's journeys and struggles to then get to where they are today, right? So I like to hear about the authentic swipes, right? And I want to hear about some of the bullshit you had to go through growing up, right? And some of the struggles you had to go through. And then I want to hear about when you had that moment that you kind of broke through a little bit and we're like, this is who Quincy needs to be, right?
Right.
Where you're like, I don't want to be that old Quincy anymore. And I was kind of touching on that with the daughter thing, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of why I wanted to kind of plant that seed, but let's go back, right? Let's go back and let's talk about growing up. Let's talk about growing up and some of the shit that you had to go through.
Growing up, I watched a lot of cats, man, from like my big bro to my uncles, different cats in the neighborhood. And, I would look around and it was cats around there that I wanted to emulate the drug dealers. I'm going to be 100 with you.
Yep.
I wanted the fire ass car, the jewelry, the chicks, nice clothes. You know what I mean? And, as a kid, I kind of used to steal for nice clothes. You know what I mean? Sold drugs before. I did all kinds of shit. But as far as like my, growing up,
when did you start getting in trouble as a kid? How old?
Shit, early, 10 years old.
Okay.
I was doing shit like stealing shoes.
Yeah.
Because, my stepfather was, not to get on his head, but he was drunk.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And he would go fuck the money up, and mom couldn't get her shoes. So,
Right.
I mean, shit, if I was in a store and I could get away with it, I was stealing me a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Not no XJ900s. I wanted some J's.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was 1988.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, probably like, I think my first stealing was like 1990, 91.
Okay. Right.
I
So
wanna.
you're 12.
And I was about 11, about 10 or 11 years old.
Okay. Yeah.
So I wanted shoes. I wanted all the CDs because I was mad in love with music.
Right.
So in order for me to try to DJ parties, I would have to have the latest music.
Mm.
Mom can't buy the music.
Right.
We going to Target though.
Right.
And I would literally steal 10, 12 CDs. Remember when the CDs used to be in the long cartridge?
Yep.
I would literally bust those open.
Oh, really?
Get the CD, put the case back in there, CD in my pocket. I'll probably steal 10, 12 of them.
That's a lot of work on them when them long ones.
Yeah, but when you with your parents, you know what I'm saying, you can steal one disc, walk around the store.
Right.
Especially if you ain't got caught. There wasn't many cameras back then. So
Right. Yeah, it was a different time. Like we forget. Yeah.
As a kid, I was like, I call that petty thieving. I was a petty thief.
Right. Did you ever get caught for that?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I went from a petty thief to getting caught. My mom whipped my ass with a extension cord, bro. Like real shit. She probably went to jail these days for that.
Right.
But
Right.
back then, shit. I mean, I think these kids these days need more of that.
Yeah.
Then I would move on. Like in my teenage years, I was an athlete.
Yep.
I didn't know who I was or what side of different fellas I wanted to be because I had friends on the blue side, friends on the red side.
Right.
Lived in the blue neighborhood.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm kind of scary to be walking through this neighborhood in the blue, but I mean, I'm up here. But I like these guys more. These is my homies.
Right.
So I ended up being with the homies over here.
Mm-hmm.
So, teenage years was gang banging, trying to get money for cars and shit like that, working, doing different little odd jobs. But shit, I think from teenager to graduating, I went to college.
Where'd you go?
I went to ITT Tech.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I got kicked out of there.
Yeah. I didn't like school.
Yeah, I didn't like that shit. It was cool. I did a year though. My first year was cool.
Yeah.
After I got kicked out of there, I kind of moved in, and that's where the drug dealing started. The real drug.
How old were you?
I was like 20.
Okay. Okay.
Just really hitting it hard, trying to get my money up, and this is at the time of Cash Money Records, Jay-Z, all that type. So that's what's grinding hard.
Yep.
Around my mid-20s is what really slowed me down. I got in some heavy trouble, which I don't talk about it much, but it was heavy trouble. Mm-hmm. And I ended up getting drug court. And that shit.
Got federal court? Is that what you said?
No, it was drug court.
Oh, drug court. Okay.
Yes, it's like a probation that you got.
Yep. I know drug court. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. But that part right there slowed me down.
Drug court basically gives you an opportunity not to go to fucking prison.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was supposed to do 3.
Yeah.
And they was like, look, you can either do this program.
So did you finish drug court?
Yeah, I finished it.
Okay, because a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
A lot of people fuck up. Because you got to do drug court for what, a year?
I had 18 months.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell you this. The people who started drug court with me didn't finish.
Yep.
And the graduating class out of my whole class was 3 and it was 2 by graduation.
Somebody fucked up in between.
Somebody fucked up the day before.
The
day before graduation, put it like this, the day of graduation, they got us all 3 up there, right? And they say, well, 2 of y'all graduating today. I'm like, damn, what the fuck?
What happened to Billy?
What happened? The girl, she took a pain pill and it showed her in her piss.
No.
They walked her ass off to jail, graduated us.
So let me ask you, when you did that 18 months of drug court, I mean, and you were obviously like, to get caught up in drug court, you were running fucking hard before. right? And then you had to make a big shift for 18 months in your life, right? So how did you or did you separate from the people that were influencing that?
What it was the main cats I was messing with, they went to jail for a long time.
Okay.
Then, some of the homies I was moving around with, you kind of got to get to yourself. And I'm pretty good, let me say, I know how to get to myself real good, basically.
Okay.
I couldn't smoke weed, which is I love smoking weed.
Right. Yeah, I've seen the videos.
Yeah. No joke, no drinking.
Right.
But in order, see, the crazy thing is with drug court, you would try to get over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is like, okay, they only test us they don't test us over the weekends.
Yeah. So I got 2 days.
So I got 2 days to drink. I'm gonna get crazy. And that turned into me getting 3 more months on drug court and sitting in the halfway house for a second.
Really?
Yeah, I caught a DUI one night.
On drug court?
On drug court.
So you got a DUI on drug court and they didn't fucking kick you?
No, Judge Randall wanted to kick me out so bad. And Shots gave me a chance. Shots was like, I'm gonna give you a chance, but you're going to a halfway house.
Is that a different judge?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like 3-4 judges on.
Oh, god damn.
Yeah, every session is.
Boy, you were lucky as shit.
Yeah, drug court was fucked up, man. I'll tell you, I seen people go to jail and get stretched out for less. That's why I didn't understand. So it had to be like, good. The God was with me on them days because, as I'm talking to him, I'm like, look, hey, I stressed out, I got drunk. I apologize if y'all sending me to jail. I'm gonna take my consequence. They just like, nah, we sending you halfway house. And,
interesting.
I did a little 3 months at Freedom Road.
It's amazing, like some of us are given opportunities and second chances.
Hell yeah.
And some of us take them and do something with them, and others don't. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that the people that succeed the most in life are the ones that are given those second chances because they went through some bullshit and saw that second chance as an opportunity to become somebody different. I've talked about it, and I don't know how much you know about my story, but I was looking at 1 to 5 in prison for my 4th offense DUI.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I had a district court, felony DUI. And I was sitting there looking at 1 to 5 and I was freaking out. I mean, right. Like that's scary shit, right? Like that's scary shit. And I ended up, and that didn't even get me to click. Yeah.
Did you have your daughter yet?
What's that?
Did you have your daughter yet?
No, I was 28, 29.
Okay.
So I didn't have Tegan until I was 36.
Oh yeah, you was wilding.
Yeah. So I didn't know what to do, but I kept using. I was selling drugs. I was doing a ton of coke. I was drinking every day. And after I got it, I had to go. You have to go get an eval. You got to go get your evaluation at some drug place or whatever. And so I go get my evaluation, and they're like, "Well, you need to go to inpatient." And I was like, "Nah, fuck you." I was like, "I got a house and shit. Like I got a mortgage and like."
Yeah, they're like, fuck you.
I got a job and whatever. And they're like, you do whatever you want. They're like, it's up to you what you do. But keep in mind, like, you're going to have to go in front of a judge in however many months. And if you choose not to do something, he's going to tell you to go fuck yourself and he's going to give you 1 to 5. I'm like, all right. So I kept using and drinking for another few months, hard. Still selling, still being crazy. And I've told this story before, but the counselor that I met with, that I did the eval with, he gave me his business card. And I had his business card sitting on my end table in my living room, and I used his card as my Coke funnel to pour into bags and shit, right? But I left it there. I let it sit there on my fucking table, and I didn't throw it away. And I kept it there, and that motherfucker had Coke all over it. I mean, it was white as shit. You couldn't see the words on the card at this point, right? But he called me like every other day. I wouldn't answer. I knew it was him. I was like, I don't want to talk to this motherfucker.
Yeah, you running.
Right. I mean, I was sitting in my house just high as shit, but that was all right. So I don't know what happened, but one day I just kind of woke up and I saw the fucking card still sitting there, folded up, white as shit. I licked my fucking finger and wiped that motherfucker off. I probably did a fucking, one of them real quick. And then I read it and I was like, fuck, I need to call him. And I called him and I was like, I'm ready to go. And he sent me to O'Neill, Nebraska. And I went to Valley Hope and went to rehab. And I was literally in rehab and I was still selling drugs while I was in rehab back home. Because I'd call my buddy and I'd be like, hey, I still got this much left in my safe. I got to get rid of it. And like, I'm back home fucking making deals go down back home. And I had people call me like, where's your scale at? And I'm like, well, it's over in this corner. And fucking like, I had shit going. So I was still getting shit done back home until I could get rid of all my stuff. And it took like 2 weeks in rehab before I like looked out the window and went, holy fuck, I'm in rehab. I'm like, normal people don't fucking go to rehab.
All right.
And I had this epiphany moment where I was like, you got to do something different, man. Because if you continue doing this, like this is just a cycle, right? And you're going to continue in this cycle. And I came home and I literally had my buddies that I sold with and ran with came to my house and said, hey, are you going to do this sober thing or are you going to come back out with us? Right? Like just straight up asked me. And I was like, give me a month. And they're like, all right, cool. Well, if you're going to do that, I need to introduce you to this cat that also went through what you went through. And now he's been sober for like a year. So you should meet him. So like my boys that I ran with hard, sold drugs with, went fucking crazy with, did awful shit with, were like, all right, well, if you're going to do that, I need to. So like they literally introduced me.
Oh, they turned you on to the guy?
Yeah.
Oh, them is good friends.
Right. Yeah. Introduced me to the guy who ended up becoming my sponsor and saved my life like for 5 years. And if I wouldn't have met him, like I'd be dead or in jail. Like 1,000%. And so I tell that long fucking story to circle back to like, you obviously had kind of the same moment or moments, in your life.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right. Because you're not that guy anymore. Right. No. And you're trying to blow up your music thing and you're trying to do the things that you're passionate about. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And that's what I like to talk about here. Like so once you got through that drug court, what happened after you got through the drug court? What flipped a switch for you? And what the fuck are we gonna do to get fucking Swipes to blow the fuck up?
Man, shit. Well, first week out of drug court, I got shot. So that wasn't no
get the fuck out of here.
Got a shot a week out of drug court.
Did you try and swipe somebody's broad?
No, absolutely not. No, I was spectating. I was just in there.
Spectating.
Yeah. Yeah, we were supposed to go to a whole nother club and the homie said, oh man, there's hoes in here. We gonna stay here. A fight broke out. They start shooting. I get shot. I ain't even fighting.
Where'd you get shot?
In my hand.
In your hand?
Yeah.
Was it one of those like that?
On everything. It was just like this.
Really?
Yeah. Dude was just
through
shooting.
And through?
Dude wasn't trying to shoot at me, but he was shooting everywhere.
Right.
And end up shooting my direction. And I went like that and caught it in my hand, ended up falling, flipping backwards over.
So, I mean, it was close as shit to like taking you out.
Yeah. And somebody called my mom and told my mom I got shot in the head. So, and that made my family panic like a motherfucker.
Sure.
So then, I get past that. A week later, I go to Bahamas and my child's mom tell me, hey, I'm pregnant. So I'm like, okay, now shit's starting to click. Like, oh.
You got to go to the Bahamas? Oh, this was right after drug court.
After drug
I was
court.
like, how the fuck did you get to go to the Bahamas on drug court?
I had it already
planned. It was a week after drug court. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. I wasn't even supposed to go out to no club though or nothing.
Right.
And still went out and got shot.
Wow.
So like from there, even at that time I was doing music and I was with a crew and I'm basically the center of the whole music thing.
Okay.
So if you're gonna do it down here with us, you gotta go through me.
Okay. How'd you become that guy?
Just knowing how to work the boards in the studio.
Okay. So did you do more like producing or rapping yourself?
Both.
Okay.
I'm like a Kanye West.
Yeah. I've just noticed in a lot of your stuff that like you highlight a lot of other people.
Yeah.
Right. And and because Natalie and I were watching a couple of your deals and we're like, he needs to stop highlighting these other motherfuckers and do more of his own shit because like they aren't as good as he is. I mean, that's just a compliment to you, but like for real, like you're really fucking good.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
But go on. Sorry.
But, being the center of the studio, I always wanted to be the go-to.
Right.
You know, I need a beat. Let me call Swipes. I need this shit done right. Let me call Swipes. That's always been my Achilles heel. I want to be the guy.
Yeah.
In the middle. But as far as the artists, I try to pick good artists that I think here.
Real quick, I don't think that's an Achilles heel.
It ain't?
Fuck no.
Oops, I think I done fucked up.
No, that ain't Achilles heel.
What is that?
Own that shit. You want to fucking own shit and you want to run shit and you want to be the fucking man. There ain't a goddamn thing wrong with that.
That's a fact. That's
Fuck
a fact.
that.
Yeah,
because I'm the same fucking way. You know, like I talked about this the other day. I never felt like I belonged anywhere.
Damn, that's crazy.
It was a reason that I always drank and used so much. Because I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere. So if I went out, I had to get all fucked up so I felt okay in my own skin. And so even like when I got sober, I didn't feel like I belonged at an AA meeting. I didn't feel like I belonged with this group. I didn't feel like I belonged with that group. And so one day I said, fuck it, I'm making my own shit.
AA was all right though, man. I'm gonna be 100.
I'm still in AA. I like AA saved my life.
Yeah.
Right?
AA was I heard a lot of interesting fucking stories in there.
Mm-hmm.
Shit that you wouldn't hear normally from people. You like, damn, you really went through that?
Right.
I started drinking coffee at AA, which I was fucking.
You drink some bad fucking coffee at AA.
No, it was some good coffee at my spots though.
I bring my own now. That's some nasty shit.
Creamer.
That's a good call. Yeah, because otherwise you get that powder shit.
Hell yeah, that powder or them little
that
cups.
Ain't good. Yep.
You don't want those.
No, no, I agree.
Like I ain't going there. They don't got hazelnut.
But back to what we were saying, like, but I think that's not an Achilles heel of yours. I think that's a strength of yours. Right? Like you want to own shit and run shit because you know what the fuck you're doing and you don't want to have to rely on somebody else and you want people to follow you and you want to lead.
That's why I first started recording.
Right?
I don't want to have to ask.
No.
I can't get in the studio.
Fuck you. I'll get my own studio then.
Facts. Yeah, the cats don't want to sing the hooks right. Okay, I'm going to figure out how to sing these hooks.
I'll do it.
I'll harmonize.
Right.
Tweak my voice. Damn, I sound like a singer now.
Right.
You know? So yeah.
I love that about you.
I wanted to run everything.
Yes.
But I also like having different artists too because I feed off of them just as much too.
Absolutely. And that's leading.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because you want to lead people because you want to help them.
Hell yeah.
That's what leading is helping. And I think people don't understand that helping is leading and leading is helping. Right. And they just think that, oh, well, you're just helping that motherfucker out or you went and got that guy some food or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But nah, it's teaching people and showing people how to do things that they want to do.
Hell yeah.
And building a legacy so that down the road, when people look back on you, they're focused on all the people that you helped and then the generational change that you make down the road in that because you affected these 20 people that started doing something better. And because of that, they affected another 100 people. Mm-hmm. And then they affected another 100 people, right? And then all of a sudden, Swipes is gone, but his impact...
It left a stupid legacy.
Right?
Know?
And that's what I want.
I definitely want that.
Right?
Yeah.
But when did you figure out you wanted that?
I didn't know that for a long time.
Yeah. Right?
For a long time, I thought I was just being selfish. I was like, oh, okay, I want to be on every song I'm on. Like, I would look at compilations that we do, and I'm like, damn, I'm on every song in some form or fashion, whether I did the beat or I dropped a few bars here. Then it would get to a point where cats would be like, oh, he hogging the studio or he don't want to, you know. Then it got to a point where I was like, well, buy my own fucking studio.
Right.
Then I started doing that. And when you got your own shit and you at home, you don't want many people in your house. So therefore, I'll migrate back to the studio so I can get my guys.
Right.
And different cats that I don't want at my home.
Right.
So it goes from there. But then after so long, if you're not getting no money out of nobody,
right,
then it turns into it's not fun.
So how do you make money doing it now? Or can you yet?
I can. I make money on streaming.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't really do studio time for cats no more. I hate recording people.
Okay. So you make money streaming, meaning what?
When I release my albums,
Yep.
it's you put it out through a distribution company.
Okay.
Which is like CD Baby, DistroKid.
Okay.
They put it on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal.
Okay.
And 150 other publications.
And then you basically get what, like, for lack of a better term, royalties off of that.
Every time you play it, I get paid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But only on those things. And then do you have to pay them?
No, well, most people
to put it up.
Depends on who you pushing it out.
Okay.
CD Baby costs a little money.
Okay.
The newest and most used thing right now is DistroKid. They cost like $20 a year.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it costs nothing.
Yeah, you can release basically what you want.
Right.
United Masters cost like $60.
Oh.
But
and then obviously, though, you got to market the shit out of it so that people see it and find it and stream it.
Hell yeah. You have to push yourself. If you don't push yourself, you basically might as well say you're doing music for.
So are you good at that, at the marketing side of it?
I'm all right. I ain't that good.
Yeah. And the reason I ask that is because people watching, like, in different industries, because I talk about this a lot, like, we're all doing the same shit. We just got different widgets.
Yeah.
Right. Because business is business, right? Yeah. I sell fucking roofs, right? But I just need my people to sell as many goddamn roofs as they can so that I can go do other things that I'm passionate about, right?
Hell yeah.
You need to push out as many fucking songs as you can. And that's your widget so that you can get as much coming back so that you can then reinvest that into doing more music, helping more people, doing all the things that you want to do, right? Yeah. And so it totally fucking lost my fucking train of thought. I'm gonna hit that.
Oh.
Okay, all right.
No, man, my end game for all this though, not even being funny, is to score movies.
Oh.
Yeah. I wanna do, like, you know how they got good ass hip hop movies or whatever.
Yeah.
And they be like, well, shit, Swipes did the music on that motherfucker. It was going crazy.
Nice. Oh, so you want to get your music into a movie?
I want to do that, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I want to be in the movies. I want to be in all kinds of shit.
How the fuck do we do that?
I'm already doing it. I'm pushing myself. I'm talking with different cats that want to do directing, different videographers, and if they use your music in their movie, and they take it to a Sundance or whatnot, and it gets good reviews in Sundance, it could get picked up. And or
we're filming a movie.
Really?
We're filming a documentary on our nonprofit on Roofers in Recovery. So Lexi's actually filming it, and we're like traveling the country right now, and we're filming this doc. And
shit.
Yeah. So we're filming this doc right now, and she's hoping to get it into film festivals and stuff after it's done, and we release it at the end of the year.
So y'all gonna be at South by Southwest then, right?
I don't know any of that bullshit.
Yeah,
so
that's what y'all should be trying to do.
All right, yeah, we'll have these conversations later because she knows what's going on. I don't know a goddamn thing.
Hell yeah, Sundance.
Yeah, like we're gonna drop it into everything that we can and try and get all the exposure that we can for it, because we're trying to raise a shitload of money, because we're trying to raise $750,000 to send 50 people to treatment this year.
Okay.
Yeah. So it costs us almost 20 grand every time we send somebody. And then if everything pops the way that it's supposed to, we're going to try and like buy halfway houses and things like that. So when people get out of treatment, we have somewhere to send them to help them, to help them for aftercare stuff and, down the road. So yeah. So on that note too, like, we were joking around because after we watched your last video together, because I loved it. Like, that was by far your best one. Like,
James Bond.
Yeah, that was great.
I shot that on my birthday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where'd you shoot it at?
Vegas.
Okay. It was fantastic. Like, we loved it. But we got done and we're like, we're just going to ask him on air. Like, we're all going to have to figure out how to work together so that we can fucking make something for this as like an intro, because we were trying to figure out, I wanted to steal Kid Rock's fucking "You Ain't Never Met a Motherfucker Quite Like Me." I was trying to figure out how to fucking sample some of that shit to put into some fun, awesome intro for the show.
Oh man, we had to just
we got to work on that together.
Work on that, yeah.
Because that'd be fun.
I'm the guy to work with this.
Yes, because it'd just be fun to work together on something, as well.
Yeah.
But to figure out what that looks like. But I think it'd be fun to have our own unique, thing for that. Because like I said, I know we got to wrap up here because we're running out of time. But like, I wanted people to meet you, right? Because you're a unique individual and you've been through a bunch of shit, right? And we didn't even fucking touch it. We didn't touch it. Like I'd like to have you back, right? To touch on some more stuff, because people want to hear the shit that you don't talk about because they relate to it, because they don't talk about it either. Right. And they hear it and they're like, oh, fuck. Like, he's okay talking about it. Maybe I should be too. Right. And then all of a sudden, that's how their life begins to change. And that's why I like bringing in people that have been through some shit and then are at a place where they get to have a conversation about, I'm trying to get my fucking music into movies and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, where 20 years ago, right? Like, that wasn't even on your radar. Right. Like maybe pipe dream bullshit, whatever, but like there was never a plan, right? Or a plan that you felt like was actually executable to be able to do it. But I mean, I look at you now and I can tell, like, you believe you're going to do this shit now.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right?
Hell yeah. Most definitely. I'm like, I just feel like this. If I don't do it, I'm going to be a part of somebody's shit that's going to do it.
Yep.
You know, and I got the tools to push them because I know what not to do. And I've been through the goofy promos, and I know who not to promote with. I know who not to send money to, who not to deal with, really, and what not to do when you're an artist if you really want to do your thing. You know, you can't. It's just like you said. You showcase a whole lot of different cats, and you don't showcase yourself enough. But I try not to stretch myself too thin, too.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's part of showcasing them is because maybe I believe in them too.
Oh, 100%. I was just being selfish and wanting more swipes.
Oh, I know. I'm selfish too. I try not to be. I've heard it so many years. Man, you selfish. You selfish.
Nah, fuck those cats.
Like, nah.
No.
I like, dude, I see what I see. And that's why I went solo. I went, you know, because I was a part of a crew at first.
Yeah.
But once, you know, I think once I got a divorce in 2013, which was fucking terrible.
Yeah, those aren't fun.
Yeah, I went solo after that, and really the last couple of years, bro, is when I really been tapping into myself and really homing what I got going on.
I love it. Yeah, makes me happy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know we got to wrap up. I got one of these right here, I guess. I want to ask one more closing question. Okay. And Lexi actually printed out a bunch of really cool questions. I love this one, though. I love this one right here. What is your best advice for making the world a better place? What can people do?
Need to worry about themselves. Like, if you worry about yourself and really, and instead of, you know how they say you worry about the next person? You can worry about people and you can give them advice and you can say what you're going to say to them. But if you really just worried about yourself, it would be less confusion moving around this motherfucker. You know, it would be less squabbles because, you know, you're not sticking your nose in the other person's business, right?
Yep.
And that's where a lot of bullshit start, a lot of rumors start, a lot of naysay talk.
Yep.
From my perspective, I just feel like worry about yourself, mind your own fucking business, and let me do me.
Worry about things that you can control.
Yeah, if you can't control
it. If you can't control it, then what the fuck you doing worrying about it?
Facts.
Because you can't do nothing about it.
You sure can't.
So worry about what you can control, and that you can make better.
Absolutely.
Everybody else is going to do what they're going to do.
Absolutely.
Love that. All right. Swipes. I still feel weird calling you that because I've always known you as Q and Quincy. I'm just going to call you Q. I don't like that shit.
Y'all, for the record, I detail this guy's boat. You know what I'm saying? I'm his boat detailer. I detail cars for a living. That's what I do.
Yeah. You're still doing that?
Absolutely.
Good. Okay, good.
Still in business.
Well, Q, I love that you came in. I thank you for taking the time and driving up. You got games going on. Like, you're busy as shit. We're all busy as shit. But like, after this, what I want you to know is like, I want us to know each other better.
Yeah.
I want to spend more time together and
we can
talk,
hang out for
figure
sure.
out how the fuck we can work together on some stuff. And like, let's do some cool shit and figure out how I can help you and how we can help each other and grow together. Because like, I love people that have amazing stories, give a shit about other people, and want to fucking go somewhere and not sit in their goddamn living room all fucking day pissing off. Right. Like you got to drive and you got somewhere that you want to get to.
Oh, hell yeah.
And that's the kind of people that I want to spend time with and that I want to be around. And so like, I want to make sure that we figure out how to do that together.
Yeah.
All right.
On the next one, man, I'll tell you about my DUI story. That way we can motivate some people.
Deal. That's a teaser,
You know what I'm
folks.
saying?
That's a teaser. All right. All right, everybody. Well, hey, we've come to the end of our time. Thank you for tuning in. As we end every show, remember, everybody, be authentic or get the fuck out.
I know that every loss may lead to another win. I'm going up.